A billionaire just publicly exposed his pregnant wife in front of hundreds of elite guests. But what happened next destroyed his entire empire in seconds. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch till the end, because this story has a twist that will leave you speechless. The entire ballroom fell silent the moment Victor Hale raised his glass. Hundreds of elite guests turned toward him, unaware that in the next few minutes, everything would change. "Tonight," Victor said with a smirk, "I want to expose the biggest mistake of my life." Across the room, his pregnant wife, Alina, froze. Her fingers tightened around the edge of the table as whispers began to ripple through the crowd. Victor slowly turned toward her, his expression cold, almost amused. "This woman," he continued, pointing directly at Alina, "pretended to be someone she's not just to trap me into marriage." A wave of gasps swept across the luxurious hall. Alina didn't move. Didn't speak, but her silence wasn't weakness, it was patience. Victor stepped down from the stage, his polished shoes echoing against the marble floor as he approached her. "You thought I'd never find out?" he said quietly, leaning closer. "A nobody from nowhere, pretending to belong in my world." Guests leaned in, hungry for the drama. Alina slowly lifted her gaze to meet his. There was no fear in her eyes, only something far more dangerous. "You're making a mistake, Victor," she said softly. He laughed. "A mistake," he repeated loudly, turning back to the audience. "No, this is me fixing one." The projector behind him flickered to life. Photos appeared, old ones, blurry images of Alina in modest clothes, standing outside a small apartment, working late shifts. "This," Victor announced, "is who she really is, not the elegant woman you see tonight, just a fraud who climbed her way into my life." Murmurs spread like wildfire, judgment, mockery, sympathy, very little of it. Alina placed a hand gently over her stomach, steadying herself, not because she was afraid, but because the moment she had been waiting for had finally arrived. Victor circled her slowly like a predator savoring his victory. "I gave you everything," he said. "A name, a life, and this is how you repay me?" Alina let out a quiet breath, then she spoke. "You're right," she said. The room stilled. Victor paused. "I did come from nothing," she continued, her voice calm but carrying across the hall. "I worked late nights, I struggled, I built myself from the ground up." A few guests exchanged glances. This wasn't the reaction they expected. "But what you don't understand," Alina added, slowly rising from her chair, "is that I never needed you to become who I am." Victor's smile faded just slightly. "And what exactly are you?" he asked, irritation creeping in. Alina turned not to him, but toward the entrance of the ballroom. Right on cue, the massive doors swung open. Every head turned. A group of sharply dressed executives walked in, their presence commanding immediate attention. Behind them, an older man stepped forward, powerful, respected, unmistakable. The room erupted into shocked whispers. Victor's expression froze because he recognized him. Everyone did. "Is that?" someone whispered. It can't be, but it was. The chairman of one of the largest global conglomerates in the world, and he was walking straight toward Alina. Victor's confidence cracked. "What is this?" he demanded, his voice no longer steady. Alina didn't answer him. Instead, she stepped forward to meet the man, and then she smiled. "Dad," she said softly. The word hit the room like a thunderclap. Victor staggered back a step. "No, that's not possible," he muttered. But the man placed a protective hand on Alina's shoulder, his gaze turning ice cold as it locked onto Victor. "I believe you were just speaking about my daughter," he said. The silence that followed was suffocating. Victor's mouth opened, but no words came out. Alina turned back toward the crowd, her posture now completely transformed. Gone was the quiet, patient woman. In her place stood someone powerful, untouchable. "I never lied about who I was," she said. "I just didn't feel the need to announce it." The executives behind her began distributing documents among the guests. Confusion spread, then shock, then disbelief. Victor grabbed one, his hands trembling as he read. Ownership records. Majority shares, signatures. "Alina Hale," he whispered. "No," she corrected calmly. "Alina Vyerly." The name alone carried weight, legacy, power. "And as of this morning," she continued, "I became the majority shareholder of Hale Industries." The room exploded into chaos. Victor looked like the ground had vanished beneath him. "That's impossible," he snapped. "You can't just—" "I already did," she interrupted. Her father stepped forward. "You see, Victor," he said, his voice cutting through the noise, "while you were busy humiliating my daughter, she was finalizing the acquisition of your entire empire." Victor's face drained of color, everything he had built gone. Alina took a step closer to him, her expression calm but her eyes sharp. "You wanted to expose me," she said quietly, "but all you did was expose yourself." He shook his head, desperate now. "Wait, Alina, we can fix this. We're married. This is our company." "No," she said firmly. Her hand rested protectively over her stomach again. "This was never yours to control." Security moved in, not toward Alina, toward Victor. The same man who had once ruled the room was now being escorted out, humiliated, powerless. The doors closed behind him, and just like that, he was erased. Alina turned back to the stunned audience. Her voice was calm, controlled. "Let tonight be a lesson," she said. "Never underestimate someone, just because you think they came from nothing." The room stood in silence. No one dared to speak, because they had just witnessed something far greater than scandal. They had witnessed power, real power, and it didn't need to shout. It simply waited for the perfect moment to strike. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more powerful stories like this. Comment below, did Victor deserve this, or was Alina too ruthless?